Today, we're diving into a philosophical showdown of truly epic proportions. We're going to explore the very nature of power through three titanic figures. We're talking about sovereign beings.
So let's just jump right in. We're going to start with a question that, I think we've all asked ourselves in one way or another. What is the ultimate form of power? Is it about having total control? Is it absolute freedom? Or is it something else, something completely different? This single question is really at the heart of everything we're exploring today.
Our story kicks off with what the source material calls a thunderous verdict. Think of it as a final judgment on the entire history of the world. And just look at this setting. We're in a symbolic marketplace, but this is a place where all the old value systems, both the religious cathedrals and the corporate towers, have just crumbled into dust. It's into this massive empty space that our three figures appear, each one ready to offer their own answer to that huge question about power.
And here they are, our contenders. First up, we've got Mephistopheles. He's the classic tempter, the spirit who denies, but he's been updated for our times. He's in a modern business suit. Then there's Faustus, the ultimate consumer, a being with incredible power who just wants to possess everything. And finally, Wotan. You might know him as the Overman, a figure who represents a total break from humanity, a philosophical idea literally made flesh.
Now, this whole debate is framed by the super cynical Mephistopheles. And he doesn't see this epic struggle as some grand tragedy. Oh no, he sees it as a dark comedy.
With that line, Mephistopheles basically sets himself up as the ringmaster of this whole circus. He presents Wotan and Faustus not just as enemies, but as two competing products in this marketplace of ideas, each one claiming to be the one true form of sovereignty.
And this slide just lays out the two paths he presents so perfectly. On one hand, you have Wotan. He chooses this terrible freedom and glorious isolation, standing completely apart from everyone. On the other hand, you've got Faustus, who uses his power to possess the earth, becoming what the text calls a powerful slave to his own endless hunger. And that leads Mephistopheles to challenge Wotan directly. He's pretty much asking, hey, what good is all your godlike power, your magnificent isolation, if you can't even enjoy the simple comforts of being human? Isn't this all just an empty, power-hungry game? This brings us right to the philosophy of Faustus, who offers a very, very different and maybe, for some, a more tempting idea of power.
Faustus' statement here is just crystal clear, isn't it? He has zero interest in Wotan's difficult path of self-improvement. I mean, why bother creating when you can just consume? His goal isn't to become more than human, it's to own everything that is human.
So, how does he pull this off? Well, it's through what the source calls the ultimate contract. It's your classic deal with the devil, or in this case, with Mephistopheles, the spirit who denies. And in return, every single one of Faustus's whims becomes law. It's sovereignty without the struggle, satisfaction guaranteed.
But Wotan has a powerful comeback. He sees this contract not as strength, but as a profound weakness. And this brings us to the creator's vision of what freedom really is.
Wotan's response is just absolutely devastating. He doesn't just disagree with them. He dismisses both of them, Faustus with his endless consuming and Mephistopheles with his endless denying, as two sides of the same stagnant coin. From his point of view, neither of them are actually going anywhere or creating anything new. They're just stuck.
And boom, this is a total flip of the script on power. Wotan argues that Faustus isn't a master at all. By just taking his human appetites and blowing them up to a godlike scale, he's ironically become the ultimate slave to those appetites, the most pitiful member of the very herd he thinks he's ruling.
This slide right here perfectly contrasts their worldviews. Let's break it down. Faustus wants to own humanity. Wotan wants to surpass it. For Faustus, power is a tool for consumption. For Wotan, it's the hard, painful burden of self-creation. And the big difference, Faustus rules through a contract, something external. Wotan dictates reality on his own terms. It is a fundamental, irreconcilable clash of philosophies.
So what's Wotan's alternative? Well, it's laid out right here. Real freedom isn't about getting everything you want. It's the terrible grandeur, and what a great phrase that is, of existing without a master, without a savior, without any outside rules or safety nets. It's about saying yes to the earth exactly as it is, in all its harsh, beautiful truth.
And this takes us to the climax of this whole philosophical drama, Wotan's final act, what's called his eternal affirmation.
In the end, Wotan doesn't just win the argument with words, he lives his philosophy. He literally steps over their dead-end ideas, proving by his very existence that it's possible to sustain this difficult, lonely height without falling back into the easy comfort of the herd.
And that brings us to his monumental final declaration. Wotan looks at the entire cycle of existence, the struggle, the pain, the joy, all of it, and he says yes to it. He wills it to happen again and again, forever. And this leaves us with a really powerful, really challenging question. What would it mean to live a life that you would gladly choose to repeat for all eternity? That, according to this text, is the ultimate form of power.